Hey, what's up? Well, I'm ready to make another unboxing video, and I'm not exactly sure. I'm starting to have too many videos in November, so I might start having things come out in December, because I'll probably have a dearth of videos in December once I go to my mom's house, and I'm no longer ordering, and I'm no longer making videos. There will come a time when, just like always, I may have to just put my channel on a rest as well as my vocal cords and not make any more videos. So what I like to do in this video is just a typical unboxing video. And first of all, I'm very sore, and I don't know if you can see that. I have a cut on my finger. We were doing a home improvement or a house repair. Really not home improvement. My dad will never try to improve anything. But we did a house repair. If you know what a junction box or junction cup is, it's something in the ceiling that holds a light or fan. It's like a black plastic cup that had deteriorated over the years of, the heat and the gravity and, all the creaking in the attic. It just finally gave out, and the light fixture fell in my arms, luckily. And so over a 3-day period, I had to go up in that attic, and boy am I sore. And every time I cut a lemon and squeeze it, I'm reminded that I have cuts on my hand. My beautiful little princess hands are all cut up, and I'm sore because I had to help him. So I was cursing the fact that I'm not only a girl, but a girl with no brothers, and how much that sucks. So anyway, on with the unboxing. Got another package from TEMU, and unfortunately my dad received it or checked the mail, which is why I don't like him to check the mail. But now that we live in a house instead of an apartment, which the thing with the junction cup is why he liked living in the apartment, because as he put it, when something breaks, they have to fix it. So what I'd like to discuss in this video is the unboxing. And unfortunately, I've already cut it open. But the first thing that I would like to unpackage is perhaps my favorite. If I could have only had one item, this would have probably been it. And I keep these little solar dancers. It's a Christmas solar dancer. And what it is, and hold on, it's looking like her head is not on. It's looking like her head is not attached properly. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be attached. She's supposed to move like. I'm hoping she isn't broken. Like so many things, because they don't package them right. Everything just breaks up in there because they don't put it together right. But that's the problem with ordering online. You can order it, but there's no guarantee that it will come in right. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to temporarily, I got a refund, or I left a negative review, and I got credit, so I'm just going to put her broken on my windowsill, and listen until I can get maybe another character. I'm just going to have her broken, or I could try to fix her, but that'll probably come undone. Probably try to fix her somehow with some kind of tape, electrical tape. But I doubt if that would make the head work. So, the fact that they have so little quality control is very obvious. But all these other guys work. You know, here's my snowman. I was going to have like a snowman and an angel. And here's my 2 for Halloween. You know, really and truly, I mean, I should just go to the dollar store and get stuff like that. So that's like autumn is the Halloween one. And then, of course, the Christmas one. And then for Easter, I have my chicken, my bunny, that I've had for years. And of course, for summer, I have the luau thing. So, you know, I was going to finally have 2 Christmas characters. But instead, I have this broken angel. Like I say, I mean, I could still probably fix her somehow. But, you know, it's just a shame when you have to resort to gluing something that should have been working. You know, and I shouldn't even have to resort to ordering, you see, because like it would work without the head. It would work just fine. You know, if I was okay with a disembodied head. So anyway, the other things I got in this package, or let's see, what else do I have? I have some cord for ornaments. I have the jingle bells making it rattle. And I have these rings, which I'm really going to enjoy. They're Christmas rings. And I have these rainbow colored footballs. And last but not least, or no, second to last, I have these hats, winter hats for dolls. And then the last item is this little plastic boy doll that's like several that I already have. But he goes nicely with these Dollar Tree girl dolls that are real cheap made. And so yeah, there you have it. And I actually found this at the Dollar Tree. This is a nice outfit for such dolls. You know, nice plaid shirt. And so yeah, that's my unboxing. And if only that angel would have worked right. But one thing I want to talk about in this video, you see, here's another little cheap girl that kind of goes with him, or dolls like him. And let's see, I had other boys like that. And one thing I want to talk about in this video, and I hope this doesn't come across as racist, but this little girl, rather than an ordinary blonde girl, she looks like more like an Aboriginal child. And so does this little boy doll of sort. Look like they could be an Aboriginal child, which a lot of people don't know this. But I've just always been fascinated with the Southern Hemisphere. You know, because it, you know, Australia in particular, because it shares so much in common with the Northern Hemisphere. Only it's reversed. You know, like they have summer during winter, fall during spring, and vice versa. It's like their seasons are ahead of or behind us by 6 months, depending on which way you look at it. And so I've always been fascinated with Australia. And one thing that people don't know is that in the southern hemisphere there are, well, Aboriginal children that have blonde hair when they're born. They're not white skinned and blue eyed, but it is very common for them to begin life with blonde hair, brown eyes, and dark skin. And there are many theories. They used to think it was some penal colonies where the men impregnated the women, and so they have European heritage. But they also think that it could just be that because they're in the southern hemisphere, where it does actually get cold during what is our summer, blonde hair may have actually had an advantage in childhood, just like it does in the northern hemisphere. And of course, as they go through puberty, it darkens up and then turns gray, just like in every other part of the world. But I've always been fascinated, with the southern hemisphere and Australia. And, I continued to be obsessed with colds throughout my high school years. It was almost like some kind of a positive feedback loop that was created in the 7th grade but continued throughout, for many years. And then this COVID thing kind of brought it back to mind. I just always wondered about that. I used to wonder if they caught colds at all, back when the internet was still relatively new. I used to wonder, did they even have a cold and flu season? Just like I wondered about the tropics, because why and when would they have one if the weather is never cold? And that's the kind of thinking that you run into with this mentality that they only occur in the dead of winter, which couldn't be more wrong, or that they're caused by being cold. So, the reality is that they do. Well, they do and they don't. They don't have, in the tropics, there isn't as much, the flu season is not as pronounced, or it's almost like it never really goes away. Just like it really doesn't over here. Now the real reason why it's uncommon in June and July to have colds and or flu is simply because kids don't go to school. Most of them don't go to school in the summer. But younger kids who go to daycare and people who go to church can still get them even then. And so really, it never goes away anywhere. You can have a cold or the flu, especially a young child, anywhere, any time of the year. But in the tropics, they don't really have a peak. So like here, we don't really have a peak as much as in the north. But it peaks during the spring and fall, somewhat. Like if you're not at the equator, it kind of peaks during, if you're, say, living in Florida, well, it would still peak in what would be the winter. If you're kind of in the subtropics, you'd still have more of them in the winter, or what the northern people are experiencing as winter, than the other part of the year, but it's less, less defined, so to speak. Kind of like the length of day and night. Then as you get to the tropics, you kind of have peaks during the monsoon season, whenever that is, when you don't get as much sunlight because of the rain. And then in the southern hemisphere, you have what I've always suspected. You have a peak during what would be our summer, like June, July, and August. You know, the months when you're not in school. And, you know, that's always intrigued me. But, you know, the reality, as I've stated before, it's not as much of a peak as, say, what the northern hemisphere has in the winter, simply because they are more tropical. So anyway, you know, just always fascinated by that. And then, of course, you know, as the internet, you know, became more of a thing, I started to realize how silly it was to wonder if they have colds there, you know, because there was more research that you could do and find, you know, people living in Australia literally blogging about their lives and their kids, just like the people that live elsewhere. And then, like, if they live in rural areas, you know, obviously they don't get as many as, say, if they lived in the city. But then, you know, and then this COVID-19 thing, you know, I found that there were actual studies and lockdowns, and you know what I'm saying? So it, you know, it just became, you know, more understood with me. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and post this video.